here. Sorry for the tardiness of trying to get it together. It's the last night of Passover for us, so everybody has been keeping it in the spirit and keeping it physically. You know how it goes when the days approach. Trying to get it all together. For everybody's wellness online, everybody in the room, y'all all good?
All good.
Yeah, all good. All right, I'm crazy, man. I know that's right. Shoot, man. Looking forward to this follow-up celebration on the last day. And let me just get this set up. And for brothers and sisters that's online, if you're not aware, the IQ channel is shut down again. So you will have to locate us. Everything will be streaming on Messengers of the Covenant, Reloaded, from now until next week sometime, and Facebook. All right, so just know that moving forward. That's why you haven't seen the DSTM this week. There's a lot going on trying to get it together, but nonetheless, that's where we will find the content continuing on. That's why I told brothers and sisters, subscribe to all the backup channels that you see in the description. Make sure that you stay locked in because you never know. They suspended the channel, dug up a video from last year in July out of nowhere. They said,
which video was it?
It was a video talking about when
July.
Slow Biden was putting out that they were going to be sending people door to door about asking about your job status. That's old as hell. And they just popped up on Monday like, you got to suspend your channel because this video. I'm like, the video's been on for damn near a year.
What's true?
Don't get this one shut down. Don't get this one shut down too. No, watch it. Shut this one down too. Good Lord. In the spirit of what the lesson's about. Moses the revolutionary. That's what we live for. And when they do stuff like that, it's because we're standing on the spirit of revolution. I think it was H.G. Wells said, in a world of universal deceit, speaking the truth is a revolutionary act. That can only go to show, we have to be living in a world of deceit. When you speak the truth and everything comes against you, there's all kind of roadblocks lined up to try to make the truth look wrong. So looking at our forefathers and looking at the spirit of how they held it down. In particular, we'll look at Moses tonight in the spirit of Passover and deliverance and Exodus and so forth and so on. Moses was a true revolutionary. And also, how do we be a part of and stay in this revolution? That's the lesson for tonight. All right. First, let's look at the definition of revolution. Anybody got something before I read what I found and what I have? Anybody have any idea of what it means to be a revolutionary and what it means to be part of a revolution?
That's the definition.
We don't always look at Moses that way. That he was a revolutionary. Revolutionary sounds a little bit more exciting, a little bit more adventurous, a little bit more aggressive. You look at Fred Hampton. You looking at Huey P. Newton, Bobby Seale. You're looking at Marcus Garvey. Malcolm X. These cats was all looked at as strong revolutionary types. Go ahead.
Revolution. You fuck up with the system, the governing body. When you go against that, then they call you a revolution. So
that's right.
Fucking against the system.
Hey, was Christ a revolutionary?
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
Well, the prophets.
Number one.
I mean, that's the legacy that we come from. Our people are revolutionaries. Every time that there was something set up, and if our people fell asleep and slid into the ways of the world, the ways of the government, the ways of the system that was set up, and it was going against the laws of the Most High, there was always people that said, that ain't the way, and we got to buck up against that. That's the legacy that we come from. What you got?
Revolution. Relating to or constituting a revolution tending to promote war, a revolution, and a major fundamental change.
A major fundamental change.
Major.
So when we look at the legacy of the history of Israel and in Egypt, did we need to have major changes happen within our nation?
Oh, yeah.
It could only go on the shoulders of Moses and his brother. These two was leading the cause and said, look, we got to buck up against this whole system of Egypt, man. We can't be in here. We got to get out. We need to go worship our Father and go sacrifice and do what we need to do. The ways of the heathen is overwhelming over here, and we need to get up out of here. Anybody got anything else? All right, I got. You got something?
Yeah, I was looking at the word, but it just coming from the root word revolt, it means like to break away from or to rise against a constituted authority.
So, are we revolutionaries by birthright? Based upon that definition, we need to be revolting against ways that aren't right. I mean, bottom line, that's what our laws do. Our laws separate us in that fashion. I have relating to or involving rebellion against a ruler or government, or also involving or causing a complete or dramatic change, like Rod said. So Moses truly was a revolutionary by definition, and not only that, but by actions. And in doing so, we have to have the same mentality. We got to have the same spirit if we're going to be locked into this thing that we call the truth and actually get to this kingdom that's been promised to us. We have to truly be driven, and we can't be locked into what this world has to offer us. We can't be locked into what America's got going on, whatever land of our captivity is. They're thinking that there's another way out. We can vote our way out. I mean, how many times have the revolutionaries of old and of the present are endorsing voting? You got them cats down there, the new black new Black Panther Party, and what's it called? Don't give a damn.
The MF.
Even if they real, I don't know what's going on.
The MFAC.
NFAC, not effing around.
Not
That's
effing
right.
around coalition.
Right.
NFAC.
I mean, who? And none of them is talking about voting, and the best way is to beat the system is be part of the system. I mean, how does that work?
The F means that word?
It actually does. That's the name of their group, the Not Effing Around Coalition.
But I mean, they came out of nowhere. The cat is.
They got hundreds, all strapped with AK-47s.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Grandmaster J.
That's
Yeah.
Grandmaster J. Absolutely.
And where he's at, I think he's supposed to be fighting some cases.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. He popped up out of nowhere, quoting the Bible, talking about we the children of Israel, no friends, no nothing. Everybody, it's like, man, don't set us up. We not part of what you're talking about. Anyway, let's open up the scriptures, man. Numbers 12 and 3. Let's get some of the character, man, of Brother Moses. It was to be a revolution.
Book of Numbers, chapter 12 and verse 3. Now the man Moses was very meek, above all the men which were upon the face of the earth.
Do you see one of the characters that Moses had? Not only was he strong enough to lead our people, but you got to remember that wasn't even a desired position. That's one thing we got to know too, and be locked into understanding as well, is that having that desired position of leadership, wanting to be able to be in a position of power or authority, ain't always desirous. Moses didn't want that. Moses said, man, I can't even speak to the people. I'm not an eloquent speech. I don't know, what you want me to do, Lord? And Moses said, you chosen, Moses. I don't give a damn how you think of how lowly you think of yourself. You got Aaron right here. That's your brother. He'll interpret if need be, but don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
I can, let me interject. I can relate to that going back to the early days. Getting on board as a leader, and once it was selected or elected, I was in a state of refusal, but there was no one else there to do that, because you take your own character, your own spirit, the way you would see it, but the Most High sees us like he saw Moses in a different light. And when you've been selected or chosen to do that, you must follow what the Heavenly Father has said. No bucking up against it. No resistance against. You just got to do it. You just have to do it, no matter what. Meaning, also, what I learned was that I had to totally deny myself of everything, which was really pretty difficult. I went through some emotional changes, some physical changes, and finally, total acceptance. But it was difficult. And there was, like I said, there was no turning back from it. And just at that point in time, as I was told at that point in time, it was like, hey, this is about a faith journey. And that's what really stuck with me because, I lean on that particular scripture in Hebrews 11:1. The only way to please the Most High is through faith, through faith. But a lot of things I had to let go, things that I was holding on personally, things that most I say, all of that has to go. You're the one that's been called for this position. And like I said, I was always one that was, hey, let somebody else take over. Let somebody else take the lead. I'll support, I'll contribute, I'll work. But leadership? Ain't no way. Ain't no way. But again, through it, having the courage and the commitment through the Heavenly Father's will, not my will, because, it wasn't my will to do it, but it was Christ's will within me to just take that step, and the rest is history.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, that's what happens, man. But we see here that Moses took and understood that meekness. What did Most High even tell us in Matthew 5? Let's go there real quick. Hold on.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Book of St. Matthew, chapter 5.
And Matthew 5.
Mm-hmm.
5 and 5.
Book of St. Matthew, chapter 5, and verse 5. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth.
See, the Most High gave us a blueprint. He said, look, the meek is going to inherit the earth. So when Moses took and had that spirit of meekness that exceeded everyone on the face of the earth, that was already a set-up spirit within him to dominate and take over. Meekness, the loudest one in the room ain't always the one that's got the real spirit in him. Yeah. That's the one that's usually scared. Just like a little dog. When you got a small dog and they always be because they scared and they figure the more aggressive they sound, the less you'll be apt to, mess with them. And that's all Moses was like, look, I don't have to be the loudest in the room. I ain't got to be the one roaring like a lot, wilding out. Dude. Moses said, look, meekness, I can make it. And with that spirit, the Most High said, you'll inherit the whole earth if you have that capability to have within you. So that's still strength within itself. That's not weakness. That's actually strength. Go to Exodus 2. Exodus 2. So to be a revolutionary, you also have to have meekness and be balanced. I mean, look at what's the name of that? Jesus and the Black Messiah. As powerful a speaker as Fred Hampton was, he was always there within the mix of the people. He was always there doing for the people, and some of the other brothers, man, it was always about the nation. It was always about the people. It was always, that's what they said back in the day with the Black Panthers. Huh. It was always power to the people. And then they switched it and said power to all people. When they got compromised, they switched it to power to all the people, as opposed to power to the people. But we see how it was always about food programs, being out there protecting the women, arming up for the neighborhoods, even the origin of the Crips, as we all know. Mm-hmm. Community revolution and progress, right? That was always about defending neighborhoods, making sure that brothers and sisters was taken care of in their neighborhoods and whatnot, making sure no outside invaders was happening, because what was happening back in the day, y'all can tell them. Mm-hmm. Y'all know about the spook hunters and all of that, and Esau all over the place, chasing Jakes out of neighborhoods. You couldn't cross over, what was the name?
couldn't cross over, Maine. And if you cross over Maine, they tell you go back to Central, South Central. And they had, like the brother said, spook hunters. Those were white, races. All of them had black Chevrolets. And when they saw us, we're talking about Manchester in Vermont, and that, if you came across Vermont, they'd all get in their cars and run you back. Stay in your own neighborhood, you know what I'm saying? But as what happens is, how everything evolves anyway. They got the running from us because we got bold, and many of the black community start moving into those white areas, and it was a term called white flight because of course they didn't want to be around us at that time. That's just like when I moved in, my mother and father moved into Watts, and I was like Shay's age, and wasn't nothing but white folks in there. And as soon as we moved, and we was the first black family on that street, they got to moving out. Because I got to playing, I had a playmate that lived across the street, a white girl. She was my age. And the white couple of them, that's it. As soon as they saw that, they were out of there. And everybody in the neighborhood. So, yeah.
Oh, we got to get out of here. Wow.
Them, yeah.
That was it right there. Was it them? Right?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I remember that. Yeah, absolutely.
George Bush lived in Compton for a little while.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
So Baby Bush
I didn't know
came
that.
up in Compton. So that lets you know the dynamics of this city, how it's changed.
Now they want to move back.
Now they
With
want
us.
it back now.
Come
They
on.
want to claim it back.
They want to claim it back.
Exodus 2, and let's read verse. We'll just read straight. We'll start at 10. We'll get straight to the point. So we know in this early part of the history, right, that there was a hit put out on all male children of Egypt. I mean, in Egypt. Pharaoh did not want a successor of another nation to rise up to take over Egypt. They already went through that with Joseph. They already went through that. The Hyksos came in and they ruled and knocked them down for a while. So when they wanted to maintain power again by themselves, they said the best way to do it is to kill all male children, man, cut off the bloodline, cut off the seed line, that any other nation can't come up and try to be king over.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you read, we're gonna read a little bit out of Josephus. Josephus is a first century scholar. Most historians, utilize his works as being a primary source. He got some bones in here. Some stuff is solid. Everything ain't solid, but we'll use some things and read some things tonight. He's got a lot of good stuff in here. For anybody that's not familiar with the Josephus, most of us are. Those that's online aren't. If you're not, it's good. Pick you up a Josephus. And you can read some of the historical accounts and oral histories that was passed down during his time. But it tells you in here that some of his I don't want to call them prophets, but some of his
Contemporaries?
yeah, like the wisdom, the wise minds of Egypt, so to speak. They all understood that there was going to be a successor in Egypt, and it was going to come through the Hebrews, and that's why he went to go kill the firstborn. So according to Josephus, it was like a prophecy. Understood that Moses was going to be, or there was going to be a child that's going to be born that was going to deliver the children of Israel out of Egypt. And his objective was, well, let's kill them all so that doesn't happen. We need to keep them as slaves. Okay, so let's read about that in Exodus 2 and 10 down to 15.
Book of Exodus chapter 2, verse 10. And the child grew, and she brought him unto Pharaoh's daughter.
So it's talking about Moses. Go ahead.
And became her son. And she called his name Moses. And she said, because I drew him out of the water.
So who knows how to say Moses' name in Hebrew? Moshe. Some say in this Masha. It means to be drawn out of the water or to be rescued. So even when you're looking at it from his perspective of living out the spirit of his name, he was still a rescuer of his people. He was a deliverer out of uh, the floods of the oppressions that was happening to our people in Egypt. Right? Go ahead.
I just brought to my mind too. Also thinking about with the splitting of the sea and everything too, how it even translated to that. You know what I'm saying?
God.
Going through another sea and bringing the people out in the same fashion that he was drawn out.
That's right. That's right. Only one man could have did it because he lived it. You know.
It's his name.
That's right. Read down to 15.
Verse 11, and it came to pass in those days when Moses was grown, that he went out unto his brethren and looked on their burdens. And he spied an Egyptian smiting an Hebrew, one of his brethren. And he looked this way and that way. And when he saw that there was no man, he slew the Egyptian and hid him in the sand.
So here he is automatically moving into where and how his spirit was drawn towards the Most High. He sees and witnesses one of his brethren getting abused by an Egyptian. Hard taskmaster over him. Let's put it in today's terms. How many brothers is stepping in when the police is beating the hell out of one of our brothers? Nobody. They in the back alley, one cop, and he got a brother on the ground. He telling them, "Where's the drugs? Where's the drugs? Give me your drugs." And you know it's like illegal. Why are you asking for the drugs? Give me your drugs. Not, you know what I mean? So you know something ain't right. But a brother just gonna do something like this.
Yeah.
Oh shoot. And the brother on there, help, man, he's trying to kill me. I got you, bro. I got you. Don't worry. Don't worry. It's all on camera. Meanwhile, the dude dies.
Yeah.
Not many of our people is gonna actually step in and say, you know what, the hell with that, man.
Yeah.
I'm jumping in. I'm knocking that cop out. I'm gonna knock him off my brother. I'm gonna choke out the cop. We're gonna wrestle, do whatever. They're not gonna do that. Moses said, you know what? Is anybody watching? Nobody's watching. Okay. I gotta go help my brother. And slayed the Egyptian. And then hid the body.
Yeah.
So that was his first act of revolution where he said, look, I gotta buck up against authority. This is wicked. This ain't right. And my people are being abused. I gotta do something to take a stand and say this ain't right. First thing he did was, and remind you, Moses was still holding high position within in the Egyptian realm. So for him to step away from his whole power structure and favor that he had, because they knew he was a Hebrew, they was like, look, but you're being raised as an Egyptian. We're accepting you because Pharaoh's daughter had love for Moses, as if it was her, he was her own. So he's raised up in that way. But he said, man, this something ain't right. Those are my people out there. Those are my brothers out there. I know I'm a Hebrew, and I don't like how they treat my people, man. This is ridiculous. He's sitting back watching this every day, and he's getting favor. He's getting, the riches and everything else coming along his way. And meanwhile, he's saying, but my people just ain't getting treated right. I mean, that's how you got to look at it. That's why we always talk about Uncle Toms. When we have our people that's in positions of power that always say, well, we're in here because we're going to change things. And then they get turned out. I mean, there's like black chiefs of police I looked it up one time. I want to say at least 15 to 20 states or counties. And you don't never see no change because the system is already set. I mean, these cats just sit back and just take the rap. So Esau can sit back and say, it ain't me. You got a black chief of police. It's under his watch. This is his training. These are his officers. Don't blame me. And the Negro got to sit there and take the rap. And then he got to go out there and brown nose and kiss butt to talk about, we're going to do something about this, or, we didn't find anything wrong with that shooting. So he sets up these scapegoats. I mean, you got two so-called Negroes on the Supreme Court right now. What do? They both coons. Both of them swirling and got the fever. Clarence Thomas and Katangi. Katangi. She's Katangi now, man. She's Katangi, man. She's sour.
Brown Jackson. black cop will kick you behind quicker than the white
Right.
cop.
'Cause he want to prove himself, you know, to his oppressors. That's right. And then they got that blue shield code of silence, where they got their own no snitching rules. I mean, and you're right, they got gangs in the damn police force and all of that. So for Moses to sit back and say, man, the system is corrupt, my people is getting done dirty. You know what? I'm crossing the line. I'm going over there. And how's he do it? His initiation was murder. You know what I mean? That's cold for him to go out like that. He said, man, you know what? This is how serious I am about change. I'm willing to kill and die and give up everything for it. Well, what's the Most High requires? He requires us to die from the world. He requires us to give up everything to gain everything. And our people say that's too hard, that's too much. Just give me the scraps that Esau offers me every day, and I'm fine with that. And the Lord said, man, you can have that, the whole world, and Esau is your servant. All you got to do is be obedient. You want that? A lot of people say, no, that's too hard. Go ahead and finish that up.
Exodus 2:13. And when he went out the second day, behold, 2 men of the Hebrews strove together. And he said to him that did the wrong, wherefore smitest thou thy fellow?
Now you see 2 niggas out there fighting. F you, nigga. Moses like, hold on, y'all brothers, man, don't do that. Why are you doing all of that? You striving together. He said, man, who did the wrong? Let's figure this out. Let's talk this out. What do they say?
And he said, who made thee a prince and a judge over us?
Typical Negro. Who the hell are you? Mind your business. Who made you a judge? Isn't that what they all live by now? Only God can judge me. Living up to Tupac rules. YOLO, you only live once. Mind your business. Get out the way, nigga. We don't care about what you're talking about, man. It's our fight. Who made you our judge? And all he's trying to do is be a peacekeeper. He's trying to break it up. He's trying to settle things righteously. Go ahead.
Intendest thou to kill me as thou killedest the Egyptian?
Uh-oh. Go ahead.
And Moses feared and said, surely this thing is known.
How fast does it take Israel to spill the tea? But mind you, Moses looked out. He said, ain't nobody see me, but something.
Somebody did.
Ooh, look. Somebody dropped a dime. And that spread fast. We talking about within 24 hours, all of Israel knew that Moses killed the Egyptian. Moses said, God dang, I can't. It wasn't even like they thanked him. You know what I'm saying? It was more or less like, oh, you going to do it like you did him? You going to kill us too? Let us fight, Moses. Let us sit back and kill each other and get out the way. That's the ignorant mentality that people's having. Like, man, you mind your business. Let us fight. Unless you're going to kill us like you did that Egyptian. Yeah, we got some dirt on you. You better get up out of here and let us finish our business. Moses said, uh-oh. Israel know. Everybody going to know. Go ahead.
Now, when Pharaoh heard this thing.
Now somebody did snitch.
Yeah.
Because the word got back to Pharaoh. First, it's supposed to be amongst the Hebrews. You would think we would keep that amongst ourselves and be like, man, hey, man, that brother Moses, man, looked out, saved one of the brothers, man, killed the Egyptian, man. Hey, Moses is on our side. Let's keep relations with him cool. He's on the inside track. Let's network with him. He might be a good thing for us. No. Master, Moses done killed one of your men. What you gonna do about it? Now Pharaoh's like, what? Okay. All bets is off. Told his daughter, your son got to go. Or your adoptive son or your surrogate got to go. Go ahead.
Now, when Pharaoh heard this thing, he sought to slay Moses. But Moses fled from the face of Pharaoh and dwelt in the land of Midian.
All right. So Moses got on the run. It's typical active revolutionary. He got to get away. He got to break free from the system. He got to get out and separate himself and go hide out because now he's wanted. Now there's a hit out on Moses again. He already survived the first one as a baby. Now you got another one on him for the killing of one of the Egyptians, right? Now he's got to escape. So jump over to Exodus 7. Exodus 7 and read verse 16.
Exodus 7, verse 16.
Actually, read verse 1 and then read 16.
Verse 1. And the Lord said unto Moses, See, I have made thee a God to Pharaoh.
Look at that. Now, Moses is coming back. After he received the Spirit of the Most High, remember, we always use the color scripture when he said, he told the Lord, well, how am I supposed to know? It's really you. What am I supposed to do when I come to the people? The Lord said, all right, Moses, I'm going to show you a couple miracles. We're going to make sure that you understand and know I got your back. Now we're all the way up into Exodus 7. You go back into the class Rashaf did about the 10 plagues, right? Then we'll understand how the Most High is dealing with Moses and building him up. He said that he was going to make Moses a god to Pharaoh. What's it mean, a god? A power, a ruler, a leader, a respected individual, to where now he's been empowered by the Spirit of the Lord. And now Moses' faith is going to even increase even more, because now he knows that the Most High is now making Pharaoh listen to him. Because remember, he's out on he's on the run for murder. And the Most High said, you got to go back to Egypt and you got to go face Pharaoh, and he ain't going to do nothing. And Moses is like, well, if I go back, I'm getting put to death. What you mean? The Lord said, you're not going to get put to death. Go back over there because my people need to be free, and you're the one that's going to lead them about it. And Moses said, I'm not going to do that, Lord. If I go back, man, I'm done. He said, don't worry, you're going to be like a god under Pharaoh. And your brother's going to be there to help you. You got a problem with that? And I'm backing you up. And you got the power of the universal Lord, Yahweh, to stand behind you. You going to turn that down, Moses? He had, what's the Godfather? Make your offer you can't refuse. Yeah. Read that again, verse
1. Exodus 7, verse 1. And the Lord said unto Moses, See, I have made thee a god to Pharaoh, and Aaron thy brother shall be thy prophet.
So Aaron was going to stand behind Moses. He was going to relay prophecy to him, help him understand how things are going. Because remember, Moses wasn't rooted in all the ways of the Hebrews. He knew what his nationality was. He knew his calling. He's getting back acclimated with understanding what it is, okay, and being a part of the struggle. He used to be part of the system. Now he broke free of the system, and now he's part of the struggle. Read verse 16.
Verse 16, and thou shalt say unto him, the Lord God of the Hebrews has sent me unto thee, saying, let my people go.
When he made that statement right there, that was revolution. Free my people. We see all the great speeches of Malcolm X and all them cast, man, Bobby. This is the type of what you going to step out on the Washington Monument and at the front of the White House, and you yelling, hey, let my people go. That was already an act of revolution. He declared war right then and there. I need a dramatic change to happen right now. I'm going against a ruler and a government right now. That's act of revolution. Go ahead.
Let my people go, that they may serve me in the wilderness. And behold, hitherto thou wouldest not hear.
So he went out there speaking the words of the Lord. It wasn't for him. He said that our people got to go out and serve our Father, man. We got to get up out of here, and we can't be doing it under your rule. We're sick of it. We're being oppressed, hard bondage. You got to hit out on our firstborn. You try to kill me, and all I did was seek justice. That's enough. I want out. Go to Acts 7. Acts 7, let's read verse 21.
Book of Acts, chapter 7, verse 21. And when he was cast out, Pharaoh's daughter took him up.
Actually, start at verse 1.
Verse 1?
I'm selected. Verse 20. And then
verse 1?
Yeah.
Book of Acts, chapter 7, verse 20. In which time Moses was born, and was exceeding fair, and nourished up in his father's house 3 months. And when he was cast out, Pharaoh's daughter took him up, and nourished him for her own son. And Moses was learned in all the wisdom of the Egyptians, and was mighty in words and in deeds.
So we see Moses was learned in all the ways of the Egyptians. He learned about all them damn wicked, heathen gods, all the mythos that came along with it, all of the cultural ways that they learned, all of that stuff. That's why when we came up out of Egypt in Leviticus 18, and Moses said, after all the manners of the ways of Egypt, these shall not do. And Moses could break it all down. Everything that they was into, we read in the law they was doing in Egypt. From the homosexuality to the bestiality to the fornication to the adultery to the not loving your brother as yourself to all of that. Moses knew about all of that. He said, look, we can't do none of this. I learned about all the ways of Egypt. Go ahead.
Verse 23. And when he was full 40 years old, he came into his heart to visit his brethren, the children of Israel.
So at 40 is when he woke up. So was it ever too late? Go ahead.
And seeing one of them suffer wrong, he defended him and avenged him that was oppressed and smote the Egyptian. For he supposed his brethren would have understood how that the Most High by his hand would deliver them, but they understood not. And the next day he showed himself unto them as they strove, and would have set them at one again, saying, Sirs, ye are brethren. Why do ye wrong one to another?
You see that like in verse 25, it said that after him doing that, he supposed Ben Israel would understand, I'm on your side, man, and if you ride with me, we can get up out of here. He said, but Israel didn't pay no attention. They didn't understand that. Here we are telling our people, you the chosen people of the Most High God, follow the laws. We're showing you color out the Bible. We're going through the curses. We're showing that all the prophecies unfolding, everything. And our people sit back and say, you still in the code. Y'all ain't right. Why do you guys hate? Why you guys so loud? You mean I can't wear my pants no more? No, you can't. Brother, stop shaving your beard. Why? I can't do that no more? No. Put down the pork chops. That's just too much. They never understand. I mean, it could be blatantly obvious. Why would anybody think that Moses was an enemy of Israel after he just saved the Hebrew from oppression? And they sat back and said, man, I don't understand why he saved him. I don't know why he should let him kill him.
And lost his job.
Right. I wouldn't have did that. Uncle Tom's would have said, no, not me. Go ahead.
Verse 27. But he that did his neighbor wrong thrust him away, saying, Who made thee a ruler and a judge over us?
Right.
Wilt thou kill me, as thou didst the Egyptian yesterday?
So we see that we read that account of Exodus 2, right? So what I want to read is, verse 20. So I'm going to read this out to Josephus. It's the Antiquities of the Jews. This is chapter 9. And this is book, what book is this? I think it's book 2. Yeah. Book 2, chapter 9. And I'm going to read section 2 first. And it says, while the affairs of the Hebrews were in this condition, there was this occasion offered itself to the Egyptians, which made them more solicitous for the extinction of our nation. One of those sacred scribes, who are very sagacious in foretelling future events, truly told the king that about this time there would be a child born to the Israelites, who, if he were reared, would bring the Egyptian dominion low and would raise the Israelites, that he would excel all men in virtue and obtain a glory that would be remembered through all ages. So it said that he would excel all men in virtue. Well, didn't we just read that in Numbers 12 and 3? That he was meek above all men upon the face of the earth? So now it says, which thing was so feared by the king that according to this man's opinion, he commanded that they should cast every male child which was born to the Israelites into the river and destroy it. That besides this, the Egyptian midwives should watch the labors of the Hebrew women and observe what is born, for those were the women
who were enjoined to do the office of the midwives to them, and by reason of their relation to the king, would not transgress his commands. Let me read down here. I'm gonna read about Pharaoh's daughter. And hold on, no. Yeah, I'm gonna get right to the point. This is still chapter 9. Now it says, Thermuthis was the king's daughter. She was now diverting herself by the banks of the river, and seeing a cradle borne along by the current, she sent some that could swim, and bid them bring the cradle to her. When those that were sent on this errand came to her with the cradle, and she saw the little child, she was greatly in love with it, on account of its largeness and beauty. For the Most High had taken such great care in the formation of Moses that he caused him to be thought worthy of bringing up and providing for by all those that had taken the most fatal resolutions, on account of the dread of his nativity for the destruction of the rest of the Hebrew nation. Thermuthis bid them bring her a woman that might afford her breast to the child, that would not the child admit of her breast, but turned away from it and did the like to many other women. Jump back over to Exodus 2. So Thermuthis, Pharaoh's daughter, she didn't want to nurse Moses, right? So she asked for one of the other Egyptian women to come forward and try to nurse Moses. Read 1 and 19.
Book of Exodus, chapter 2, verse 1. And there went a man of the house of Levi.
Exodus 1 and
1.
Yeah, 1 and what I say? Shalakia, 1 and 19.
Exodus 1,
actually 18 and 19. Shalakia.
Exodus 1, 18. And the king of Egypt called for the midwives and said unto them, Why have ye done this thing, and have saved the men, children alive? And the midwives said unto Pharaoh, Because the Hebrew women are not as the Egyptian women, for they are lively and are delivered ere the midwives come in unto them.
So the Egyptian women knew that there was a difference between the Israelite women, the Hebrew women, and them. Now, Pharaoh's daughter called for the midwives and said, one of y'all come breastfeed this baby. Everyone that popped up, Moses was like, Why? Because they said, we ain't like these Hebrew women. They lively. These Hebrew women are something else. Moses said, man, this ain't my people. This ain't the breast I should be sucking on for some milk and nourishment. Not from this dirty heathen.
It's crazy because babies do know. They smell. They have a sense of smell or something. Right, I was coming, she left her baby with her husband for the first time, and she pumped milk from in the bottle, and he just kept refusing. Like,
He said that ain't the real thing. He
went the whole day strong, would not eat until mom got home. That baby got a spirit in it.
See, that was Moses, man. Moses said, man, I want these old Hamite breasts. Get out of here with these old. I was about to say so. I'm gonna leave that alone.
You trying to get this cut off, man?
Yeah, I ain't gonna get the channel. I ain't gonna get the channel. But Moses said, man, I don't want them flappy things, man. Get out of here. I need a lively Hebrew woman, right? All right, let's go back up and read some more. Now it says, Thermuthis bid them bring her a woman that might afford her breast to the child, yet would not the child admit of her breast, but turned away from it and did the like to many other women. Now Miriam was by when this happened, not to appear to be there on purpose, but only as staying to see the child. And she said, It is in vain that thou, O queen, callest for these women for the nourishing of the child, who are no way of kin to it. See, he knew that this wasn't my kin. This ain't for me. I can't mess with this, right? Now it says, but still, if thou would order one of the Hebrew women to be brought up, perhaps it may admit the breast of one of its own nation. So that also lets you know we was upholding mixed marriages back then. We wasn't with it.
That lets you know too out there Moses, even in his infancy,
Was trying the spirit by the spirit.
Yeah, there you go. That's true. Because he could tell the spirit on these women, man, was not what he was used to. This ain't my kin. This ain't for me. So now she says, Miriam said, well, maybe if you give him one of the Hebrew women, it'll be all right. It says, now since she seemed to speak well, Thermutis bid her procure such a one thing, and to bring one of those Hebrew women that gave suck. So when she had such authority given her, she came back and brought the mother, who was known to nobody there. And now the child gladly admitted the breast and seemed to stick close to it. And so it was that at the queen's desire, the nursing of the child was entirely entrusted to the mother. She didn't even know. Miriam set it up. I said, well, let me go give my sister, come on, I'll bring you the baby. Moses ended up getting nursed up by his mother anyway. You know what I mean? That's how the Spirit of the Lord works. Now I'm going to drop down. It says, is regarding his understanding. It says, now Moses' understanding became superior to his age. Nay, far beyond that standard, and when he was taught, he discovered greater quickness of apprehension than was usual at his age. So he was advanced in his understanding. You know, they was looking at him like, damn, this little cat is sharp. He's picking it all up, right? And it says, and his actions at that time promised greater when he should come to the age of a man. God did also give him that tallness when he was but 3 years old, as was wonderful, and for his beauty, there was nobody so unpolite as when they saw Moses, that they were not greatly surprised at the beauty of his countenance. So didn't it say that in Acts? Yeah. It said he was very great, comely. Let's go back real quick. Acts 7. Yeah. Fair to look upon. Yeah. Moses was a cute little baby, man. Everybody was astonished and looking at him like, dang. And they said he was tall, so he was big for his age at 3. It was like, man, who this big little, cute little kid? And he's smart as hell. So, you know, he had everybody tripping. Like, this dude is special.
Exceeding fair.
Exceeding fair. It said it was so bad that nobody was unpolite when they saw Moses. They all had complimentary things to say of him. Every time they see him, oh, how cute. How old is he? Oh, he's so beautiful. Can I take a picture? Can I hold him? Can I do? Nobody was unpolite. Nobody was like, oh, that little ugly baby. Ain't nobody say that. It says, when they saw Moses, they were not greatly surprised at the beauty of his countenance. Nay, it happened frequently that those that met him as he was carried along the road were obliged to turn again upon seeing the child. So he was turning heads.
Double look.
Yeah, 3. They walked by. They like, dang, that little baby was cold. And you know, the spirit on him, everything was radiating off of him. So it says, they were obliged to turn again upon seeing the child, that they left what they were about and stood still a great while to look at him. So they in here gazing at him, standing there looking at Moses like
mesmerized.
Right, mesmerized by him. You know, they probably sit back like, okay, watch out. Watch out. Let him through. Let him through. They sitting back gazing at him. For the beauty of the child was so remarkable and natural to him on many accounts that he detained the spectators and made them stay longer to look upon him. So he was like a what do they call it? One of them attractions. No,
I want to say
Nah, you know, like when you go to like Hollywood or you know one of them sightseeing attractions, it was almost like everybody had to go see him. Because you know the word spreads around the legend of Moses, how cute he was, and the radiance and the beauty of it. They was like, you see Moses? You got to go see him. And you get there, and it's a crowd of people sitting there looking at him like,
special attraction.
Yeah, special attraction. Mouths dropped. What? You damn sure like Charlton Heston. That please. Everybody looking at no old pale, pale, shriveled up, raisin like you need a mic. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody looking at that. Please.
No joke.
All right, so I'm gonna drop down and read in this little excerpt in chapter 10, right? Now this is another aspect of that, people don't that isn't necessarily in the scripture, but we know that Moses was a leader, right? Because this acknowledges that there was a time, as he was still within the Egyptian realm, in Egyptian ranks, there was war between them and the Ethiopians. and Moses was a general under the Egyptians, and actually led them to victory over the Ethiopians. But let me read this last section in chapter 9, and I'm going to read chapter 10. It says, "But Thermuthis prevented him and snatched his." As I'm reading this, Pharaoh wanted to kill. This is when Pharaoh wanted to go kill Moses after he found out what happened. But it says that his mother prevented him from being killed. But Thermuthis prevented him and snatched the child away. And the king was not hasty to slay him. God himself, whose providence protected Moses, inclining the king to spare him, he was so therefore educated with great care. So the Hebrews depended on him and were of good hopes that great things would be done by him. But the Egyptians were suspicious of what would follow such his education. Yet because of Moses had been slain, there was no one, either akin or adopted, that had any oracle on his side for pretending to the crown of Egypt and likely to be greater advantage to them. They abstained from killing him. So Moses was spared because of the greatness that he had in the spirit that the Most High had put on him and put on Pharaoh. All right. So now I'm going to read down. It says, "The Egyptians under the sad oppression betook themselves to their oracles and prophecies. And when God had given them this counsel to make use of Moses the Hebrew and take his assistance, the king commanded his daughter to produce him that he might be the general of their army." And now it also says, "So Moses, at that persuasion, both the Thermuthis and the king himself cheerfully undertook the business. And the sacred scribes of both nations were glad, those of the Egyptians, that they should at once overcome their enemies by his valor, and that by the same piece of management Moses would be slain. But those of the Hebrews, that they should escape from the Egyptians, because Moses was to be their general. But Moses prevented the enemies and took and led his army before the enemies were apprised of attacking them, for he did not march by the river, but by land, where he gave a wonderful demonstration of his sagacity. For when the ground was difficult to be passed over, because of the multitude of serpents which it produced in vast numbers, and indeed is singular in some of those productions which other countries do not breed. I don't want to keep reading on that. But the point of the matter was that was going into his strategy and how he, set up the Ethiopians, right, to gain victory. But it let it be known that he was a general for the Egyptians, but he knew his ultimate calling was to be a general for Israel. And he was going to lead Israel. So it lets you know that he also had a military mind frame, too. That he wasn't, like you said, man, Charlton Heston, man, dragging around in sackcloth and whining every minute to Yul Brenner. That wasn't the case. Moses was a strong brother, man, powerful brother, educated, beautiful, the whole nine. He had the charisma, he had it all. But when he had to take his calling to lead his people, that was kind of intimidating, because it was like, wait a minute, why are you choosing me? I mean, Aaron, he's a prophet, he's a priest. I mean, let him do it. And Most High said, no, you're the one. You're the one. You're the one that I'm selecting. You're the one that's going to be fit to take the job. Because as we know, Moses went through hell. Getting us out of there, helping, through the spirit of the Most High, getting us up out of there, and then having to deal with our people for 40 years. After his first experiences helping Israel, and Israel turning his back on him. Why would you want to go back and you want to help the people again? You went and killed somebody for Israel, and then you sit back and they ain't appreciative. Then they go tell on you, and now the Most High said, go back and save all of them. Most people like, man, you crazy? I'm done with them. I tried to help him my way. It didn't work, but it ain't about his way, though, right? Deuteronomy 34:10. Let's go.
Look at Deuteronomy chapter 34 and verse 10. And there arose not a prophet since in Israel like unto Moses, whom the Lord knew face to face.
So, you know what, Shalak, can we read 9? Yeah, let's read 9 down to 12.
Verse 9. And Joshua, the son of Nun, was full of the spirit of wisdom, for Moses had laid his hands upon him.
You see that? Moses anointed Joshua to take the reins. He gave Joshua all the game, all the wisdom, the knowledge, gave him the experience, and said, it's all on you now. And Joshua was like, dang, But he received, he received the Jews. What was the name? The Glow from the Last Dragon. Bruce Leroy. He got the glow now. Rested upon Joshua, man, to show you how the transference of leadership and power goes how the Most High lessons, So he said, now he puts his hand on Joshua. Joshua gets the spirit on him now. And the children of Israel, go ahead.
And Joshua the son of Nun was full of the spirit of wisdom, for Moses had laid his hands upon him. And the children of Israel hearkened unto him, and did as the Lord commanded Moses.
So now the children of Israel learned and understood. They had a new general now. New general in charge is Joshua, right? But read on.
And there arose not a prophet since in Israel like unto Moses, whom the Lord knew face to face.
No other prophet of the Lord, and that's what people don't remember, is Moses was a prophet. I mean, he gave us Deuteronomy 28, all of that. Because one of the brothers talking, actually, he had called me about the question. Sometimes people have the question, like, how did Moses write the first 5 books and he died too? Like, you know what I mean?
Mm.
How can he write about his death if he was already dead? But not realizing Moses was a prophet. So if the Most High tells you, you're going to prophesy even of your own death. Write it down. And you got Aaron there as a scribe that's acknowledging and seeing everything as well. So that's why the Most High said there wasn't a prophet like unto Moses, who the Lord knew face to face. So Moses got everything straight from the Spirit of the Lord. You going up on Mount Sinai and you getting them 10 Commandments, tables of stone will come back written by the finger of the Most High.
Mm.
And you seeing just the backside, the power of the Lord. But he said, man, Most High said, I ain't had nobody else close to me like that at any time besides Moses. When he was, revealed, dealing with Yahweh Shai as well. But he said, there ain't been one like that. None had to prophesy their own death like that, So at the end, you die. Can you imagine? That's the ultimate script. You writing a script about a movie and you say, yeah, I'm going to kill myself in the end. I'm going to get shot. And that's how, Moses was probably like, dang, for real? I'm going to do all this? Yes. Go ahead.
That's like Christ. He knew his mission.
Right. He sure did.
From the very beginning.
I was going to say, because isn't there a scripture too that says that it's going to be a prophet, one like unto you?
That's Deuteronomy 18.
But it's just talking about just that he's seen face to face. I'll ask you about it later.
Right.
It just brings up the questions with me, with Yahweh Shai and Most High, like if they seen face to face and so on and so forth.
Right, I got you. Yeah, we'll talk about that. Yeah. Go ahead.
Deuteronomy 31, verse 11. And all the signs and the wonders which the Lord sent him to do in the land of Egypt to Pharaoh and to all his servants and to all his land.
So many signs, great wonders that, Moses was responsible for and leading the children of Israel, getting us out of Egypt, standing up to Pharaoh, leading a full-blown revolution. That all came through Moses. All right, go ahead. Was that in the 12?
Yeah.
Oh, Salak. Go to let's go over to Numbers 20. And
I'll read 12 anyway.
Go ahead.
And in all that mighty hand, and in all the great terror which Moses showed in the sight of all Israel.
Right. There you go. It said, in all that, with a mighty hand and all the great terror Moses showed in the sight of all Israel. So, they got to see all of the power and the glory of the Most High, man. Moses had to witness thousands of Israel getting put to death by the Most High for being rebellious and stubborn. Moses had to stand on principles of vows to the Most High in sparing our people. I mean, there was a lot going on. A lot going on under his rulership as the leader of Israel. What I say? Numbers
20.
Yeah, Numbers 20. Start at verse 1. Read down to 11.
Okay. Book of Numbers, chapter 20, verse 1. Then came the children of Israel, even the whole congregation, into the desert of Zin in the first month, And the people abode in Kadesh. And Miriam died there and was buried there. And there was no water for the congregation.
So here's an example of how the children of Israel, witnessed and seen the terror of the Most High, but also why Moses lost his cool for 1 second, man, and lost it all. Go ahead.
And they gathered themselves together against Moses and against Aaron. And the people chode with Moses and spake, saying, with the Most High, that we had died when our brethren died before the Lord.
So is every revolution they always embraced?
No.
There's always an opposition. There's always some other party that's trying to rise up. Yeah, Stokely Carmichael and all these other cats. But everybody trying to lead their own little way because Moses was the chosen one. Moses was leading the people, had success, brought our people out. And then here you got some people got to come up and whine and complain because it wasn't done their way, because they didn't get what they wanted at that particular time. And we think we should be voting for this. We think we should be striking for this. We need to go out here and load up these guns and go shoot up and incite a race war and everything else. All those type of madness type spirits coming up against Moses. So after Miriam dies, now everybody's stressing about water. At this particular point, we just got to seeing 10 plagues of the Lord. That wasn't enough. Parting of the Red Sea, that wasn't enough. We still thinking that the Most High them forgot about us and isn't going to deliver us. He can't provide us no water. And who's going to get the flack? Moses and Aaron. And it said they chided against him and they rebuked him and they came up, aggressive, barking at him and all of that. They said the people was tripping. They said, man, you brought us out here that we going to die? Go ahead.
Verse 4, and why have ye brought up the congregation of the Lord into this wilderness, that we and our cattle should die there?
See, we spoiled, We out here, in this wilderness. At least we had apartments and projects back in Egypt, Moses. At least our cattle had somewhere to graze and we could, take care of them. You bring us out here into nothing, you trying to kill us. Go ahead.
And wherefore have ye made us to come out of Egypt, to bring us into this evil place? It is no place of seed.
I hate it here. It's hot, it's bugs, it's cold, it's raining, everything. It's not comfortable. Like, where's my air mattress? It was like, Moses, we don't like where you brought us. This evil place. There's no resources. Everything is kind of sparse around here. What are we supposed to do? Go ahead.
It is no place of seed or of figs.
We ain't got no figs. Israel loves our figs.
Right.
No place that we can plant seeds. Go ahead.
Or of vines.
We can't get our wine, Moses.
Or of pomegranates.
We know Israel loves some pomegranates.
Neither is there any water to drink.
The last thing that's most important to survive off of. They say you can go 3 weeks without food, but you can't go 72 hours without water. They asked for all the menial luxurious things. Water last.
Right.
But that was supposed to be the main thing that they was tripping about. But go ahead.
And Moses and Aaron went from the presence of the assembly unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and they fell upon their faces, and the glory of the Lord appeared unto them.
See, they didn't see Moses; they seen the Spirit of the Lord on them, and they hit the dirt. Go ahead.
Verse 7, and the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, take the rod, and gather thou the assembly together, thou and Aaron thy brother, and speak ye unto the rock before their eyes, and it shall give forth his water, and thou shalt bring forth to them water out of the rock. So thou shalt give the congregation and their beasts drink. And Moses took the rod from before the Lord as he commanded him. And Moses and Aaron gathered the congregation together before the rock. And he said unto them, hear now, ye rebels, Must ye fetch ye water out of this rock?
I mean, you hard-head, stiff-necked, nigglets. Here now, listen up, you rebels.
Mm-hmm.
Now we gotta fetch this water out of rock? Go ahead.
Verse 11. And Moses lifted up his hand, and with his rod he smote the rock twice. And the water came out abundantly, and the congregation drank, and their beasts also.
Now, what did Moses do wrong here? He didn't follow instructions. He got too emotional. Remember, Moses was a meek brother, right? He got out of character. The Most High said, "Speak to the rock," right? Who'd he go to? He went to the people and start talking. Listen now, you rebels! Must we get this one? Now he taking credit for the Lord. Me and my brother got to get this water out the rock for you little hard-head, stiff-necked people. The Most High said, I didn't tell you to do all that, Moses. I told you take the rod, speak to the rock, hit the rock, and water's going to flow out. He takes the rod, go out there and start cussing out Israel, and then said, me and my brother going to get the water out. And then struck the rock twice. Go ahead.
Verse 12. And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron, because ye believe me not.
He took credit for it. He got caught up. That easy you can get thrown off the zone and forget the Most High.
That's why he enter into the.
That's right. He said, because you didn't believe me. You took a little credit. You stepped out of bounds. Go ahead.
Because ye believe me not to sanctify me in the eyes of the children of Israel.
See, he didn't sanctify. He didn't give the Most High that glory and that credit. He didn't put the Most High first. He didn't give the Most High that holy sanctification in front of the eyes of Israel. Go ahead.
Therefore, ye shall not bring this congregation into the land which I have given them. This is the water of Meribah, because the children of Israel strove with the Lord, and he was sanctified in them.
See, that's what happens. You get a typical trait of a revolutionary that can get drunk with power is one that gets taken down fast. What the Most High say? Pride go before what? That's right. So if he get caught up, or anybody gets caught up, and we have a revolutionary mind state, and next you know, I got thousands of people follow me. I'm getting millions of views on this YouTube. I'm getting up on millions of people follow me on Instagram. In today's terms, right? How fast does that inflate the ego? And before you know it, you're not saying that you're giving all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High no more. It's what's up, y'all? How many of my people out there still following me? Did you go subscribe to my Patreon? Did you do this? Give me money. And now you know the mission is gone now. You know, you get cats getting, what was that cat, man? I remember years ago, Umar Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
He got caught slipping with some Pan-African stripper. She showed up at some event and seduced him. He got caught up in a whole little scandal, you know. And that's what happens when you get, drunk on ego. And you thinking like, oh, I'm somebody. Like, I'm really that person out here. Israel looks up to me. People watch me. People follow me. People trust every word that I say. And before you know it, you're gone. There's a lot of, from who? Dr. York to a
lot of leaders.
Shoot, there's so many out there, man, that done got our people seduced and caught up and lost because they got lost in their own ego, And that's what the Most High was like, look, when you're leading and you're a revolutionary, this comes along with it. You can get lost in this little prideful power struggle that you got. Don't do that. Because you can lose it all, as we see here. I mean, you have brothers like, Huey P. Newt, man, strong brother. Went through the motions, did it all. Next thing you know, he got a crack pipe in his mouth, and been to jail back and forth, and ended up getting killed trying to cop drugs in Oakland.
Right. That let you know, too. Now, he was the most meekest man upon the face of the earth. And that was his overall spirit.
Right.
But in that moment, in that instance, he separated from that spirit because he had led Israel all the way up to that point and just came to that emotional time that upset him, that took him away or separated him from that spirit of meekness.
Isn't that something similar to what happened with Ron Karangas? You remember him?
I remember him. I don't know.
Karangas?
You
Oh,
remember him?
Yeah, that's the one who came up with Kwanzaa.
Yeah, down there on Crenshaw.
Yeah.
About-
I don't know what happened to him. I don't
He was
know.
right by Lamar Park on Crenshaw. His building.
yeah.
Yeah.
He was a professor up at Long Beach.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was out of Long Beach.
But he did have, he came up with Quan. He got caught up in something happened with him. I don't recall. I forgot what it was. But he had, he went to jail or something. Yeah. But you know, that ended up happening. And just for that slight moment
Yeah.
of getting caught in the tug of war of emotion with Israel, and you know, our people can get the best of us.
Yeah.
And it would be hard to like not flip when you got these people all in your face, wilding out and acting a damn fool, and you trying your best to help them, lead them, and move by the Spirit of the Lord, and they saying you foolish.
Yeah.
Move out the way or else. You know?
Even though the narrative wasn't written like that, Aaron was right there and said, hey, Moses. Like Moses did to Most High.
Yeah.
You know? But it wasn't meant and it wasn't written and it wasn't prophesied. That was supposed to go down that way.
Moses, but you remember Aaron already bowed down when they said they built us the calf.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah,
Moses,
he already was in.
But Aaron, what happened? They was gonna kill me, man. You crazy? I had to give him the calf.
Right.
So, you know, Israel is a people, man, that can push you to the brink.
Yeah.
You know, if we're not in right mind and spirit with the Most High, go to Galatians 1 and 10.
Yeah.
All 12.
All
We ain't talking in one tribe. I mean, Judah is enough. You imagine you got all 11 more coming at you, and all of them wilding out.
That's why I said, Moses, get out the way. I'll make me another and raise up some rocks.
That's right. Moses, you don't know what you into, man. I'll just get rid of them, and then we'll start afresh. Right. Galatians 1 and 10.
Galatians chapter 1, verse 10. For do I now persuade men or the Most High?
See, and that's what Moses had to, stay rooted on and remember, is that it wasn't about what men desired of him. He said it's about what the Most High wants. And that's what we always got to remember. Regardless, win, lose, draw, it's always about the Most High. Our persuasion goes to the Most High. We got to prove ourselves to the Lord. Isn't that what he told us in 2 Corinthians 13? And 5 about examine yourself, prove your own selves, whether you be in the faith, lest you be reprobates. He said we always got to prove ourselves and persuade the Most High, not to please men. Because if that's what we're in it for, we done already lost. If Moses did everything that Israel wanted, man, we would have never made it out that wilderness. It took 40 years, for us to get right. And that whole first and second, third generation didn't even make it out. You had Caleb, Joshua, and the fourth generation made it about it there.
Right.
You had Israel dying off every 10 years of generation gone. It's like, dang.
And that's why it's so important to call to mind these stories, because definitely they relate directly to our own walk. You know, you can get thrown off by whomever, but never lose sight. Just like you said, we ought to obey, as the scripture says in Acts, we ought to obey God rather than man.
Right.
Because let you know, you have to let go of all personal pride and, what you might be caught up in, and just, wait a minute, let me pump the brakes before I go beyond my limit. And, you being maybe transgression, and there it is, So you always have to maintain a circumspect about your own life and your own walk in the truth.
Yeah, that's a fact. Because the Most High said, man, do I persuade men of the Most High? Do I seek to please man? If I please men, I should not be a servant of Christ. Like if you go in with a mentality of thinking, I gotta please man, I gotta do what everybody want, I gotta satisfy everybody's need. The Lord said, you can't serve me because that's not the spirit of revolution. You can't go along with the flow. You got to stay focused on the goal. And you got to stay focused on the objective at hand. You know, and there's always an objective. The objective for Moses was, I got to get my people to the promised land. The hell what they keep whining about. The hell what they going through. I got to judge. I mean, he got to the point where he's judging so much. And the battle was going on. Who was it, with the Amalekites?
Yeah.
And he had to hold his hand up while the Most High was fighting. He was getting tired and about to fall down. And they had to stand up and prop him up, Caleb and Joshua. And the other elders was holding his hands up to make sure Israel keep fighting. Because Moses said, man, the mission has to continue. I can't quit here. And if I decided to just please man and just say, you know what, y'all, I'm tired, man. What would you do? You wouldn't do what I did. Forget it. Let me. They would have said, yeah, go ahead. Put your hands down, man. I couldn't do it like you did it, Moses. Go ahead. Well, good. Since I got your approval, I'm gonna go ahead and get Israel killed. He couldn't do that because he was gonna be a true servant, right? Couple more and then we'll close out. Let's go back over to Numbers. we read 12 and chapter 20?
Numbers 12 and 20?
20 and 12.
20
No,
and
we
12.
did. Let's go to the Apocrypha. Let's go to Sirach. Sirach 32. Ecclesiastes 32. Let's read verse 24. 23 and 24.
Book of Sirach 32, verse 24.
Uh-oh, he got that magnet.
You don't know wearing glasses.
That's right.
32:24?
32, verse 23 and 24.
23. In every good work, trust in thine own soul, for this is the keeping of the commandments.
See, and that means, is what they're calling now, keeping the code, staying on code, right? So in every good work, trust thine own soul. So if you're doing good works, most I said, stay trusted in that. Stand firm on that. You know, if you're believing in this quote unquote cause that we have into getting our people to repent, getting our people to the kingdom of the Lord, making sure that we're staying in the fear of the Most High, abstaining from appearances. You know, the Most High said, if you're doing good works, man, trust your own soul. Don't listen to what everybody else is talking about, the peanut gallery. Don't listen to the murmurers and all that. The Lord says, stay focused. Keep the commandments of the Lord. Go ahead.
He that believeth in the Lord taketh heed to the commandment, and he that trusteth in him shall fare never the worse.
See, and that's the only problem that Moses ran into. Because remember, the Most High said, because you didn't believe in me, you lost it. But he said, he that believeth in the Lord taketh heed to the commandment. He's not going to waver. He's not going to turn away. He's going to stay solid. He's going to keep moving. He's going to do it all the way to the end. He that trusteth in him shall never fare the worse. He said, you can't go wrong when you trust in the Most High. That's where our people, lose sight of too. Is always thinking, oh, well, maybe I can figure it out my own way. Yeah, I trust in the Lord, but as soon as you add that 3-letter word, man, it's over.
But yeah.
Right.
Ain't no buts with the Lord.
No.
There's a precept 37,
Mm-hmm.
chapter 37, verse 13. To those exact scriptures.
I'll read it for you.
Okay.
Ecclesiastes?
Sirach, yeah.
Yeah, Ecclesiastes 37:13. And let the counsel of thine own heart stand, for there is no man more faithful unto thee than it.
You gonna trust another man or your own thoughts with the Most High? Brings everything back home.
That's right. Let's stay in the Apocrypha. Let's go to Baruch. Baruch 1. Actually, I'm gonna say that one for last. Y'all can write down Matthew 7:21. Matthew 7:21. Write that one down. And that's we gotta go there. That's a cold one. I mean, that's the one that put Matthew 7:21. Matthew 7:21. That's a cold one because that one puts the fear in all of us, or should.
Oh man, for real. Book of St. Matthew, chapter 7, and verse 21.
Yeah, read 21 down 23.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Not every one that saith unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven.
So the Most High said it doesn't matter how much you plead, how much you talk about it, it's not gonna make it. You know, the elect is not sealed yet. Nobody has a golden ticket. When you die, you're not automatically going to heaven. You know, all the folly that's out there, man. The Lord said, the more you whine and cry, the more you talk about it, doesn't mean you're getting in it. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
But he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven.
See, and that also, cuts the Christians because, they like to go to, I think it's in Peter, Galatians, they talk about it's not by works, it's by faith, right?
Oh, yeah, James.
But, yeah, James. No, you need to do some work. You got to exercise that faith. You got to show and prove. That's why I said, if you do the will of the Father, which is in heaven, that you got a chance at his kingdom. Go ahead.
Verse 22, many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name?
There's going to be many that's pleading our causes and cases and out there saying, didn't we prophesy? We went out, we did the work, I traveled, I did this. My YouTube channel was blowing up. I had Instagram followers, Lord. I mean, come on. You trying to tell me I didn't do what was right? Go ahead.
And in thy name have cast out devils.
I was rebuking devils, and I called Esau a devil 10,000 times in my tenure in the truth. And, the brother that was a drunkard, man, I finally got him to repent, and he stopped drinking. Go ahead.
And in thy name done many wonderful works. And then will I profess unto them, I never knew you.
Wow.
Depart from me, ye that work iniquity.
See, because those were the works of a false prophet, one who didn't believe, did it for the wrong reasons, be it vanity, because of pride, because of popularity, because of, whatever else. There's so many enticing things now, especially nowadays, because of the exposures that the internet now can present. You know what I mean? You can fall in love with the system of the beast when it's all about your views, your subscribers, your followers, your this, that, and the third. That all of a sudden constitutes work and success now. When some of the stuff is all built on algorithms because somebody watches a video for 30 seconds, that's a view. That don't mean they watch your whole video. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I look at my stuff, I'll be looking like people be tuning in about 12 to 15 minutes and they out of there. Especially nowadays with the attention span of the people. They say it, man. The people have the attention span of a goldfish. How hard is it for you get a goldfish to lock in on you? You poking at the damn tank and you waving, you doing all this. The goldfish be like, anyway. You got some food, you ain't got no food, get up out of here. Other than that, you can't lock them in and get them to watch you for no amount of time. But Esau know that. That's why they do them shorts on YouTube and Instagram. Give you a quick little, rundown.
TikTok.
Yeah, you got it. Your TikTok. Yeah, you got to get in, get out, But the most I say, his word is faster and sharper than a two-edged sword. So, brothers got to adapt. The sisters, we got to adapt to it and say, okay, well, maybe I don't need to be doing 3-hour lessons. Give me 3 minutes. And hopefully I can get them that fast. For those that's really seeking the elect. But now we see here that there's some that are not sincere and are going to be doing the work in the spirit of truth. And, can be found false. And that would be the worst thing to wake up to in judgment when we sit back and thinking that our works have been justified and we on our way to the pearly gates. And how should I say, who are you? I don't know you. What are you talking about? You did what? In my name? Man, you work of iniquity. Get up out of here. And that'd be the worst thing. You got something?
Go ahead.
Okay. What I say?
Baruch.
We'll close there. Baruch. Yeah. Baruch 1. Let's read 17 down to 22.
17?
Yeah. Baruch.
Chapter 1.
Verse 17. Yeah, kind of. And this is, I was going over this and I was like, dang, you know what? Was this the one? Hold on. Yeah, go ahead. That's right.
The book of Baruch, chapter 1, verse 17. For we have sinned before the Lord and disobeyed him, and have not hearkened unto the voice of the Lord our God, to walk in the commandment that he gave us openly. Since the day that the Lord brought our forefathers out of the land of Egypt unto this present day, we have been disobedient unto the Lord our God, and we have been negligent in not hearing his voice.
See, this is something that we always have to reflect on and look at the history of our people and personally. How are we carrying ourselves daily with the Most High? How are we moving in the Spirit of the Lord? Right? Always acknowledging and our faults and always looking for the Most High to openly embrace us through the grace and the mercies that he's bestowed upon us. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 20.
He said, man, it's been since the days. So we came out of Egypt, man. We ain't changed a bit. We have 40 years of peace under Solomon. That was a nice run until he fell off. Other than that, man, Israel's been going up and down in captivity, out of captivity, in oppression, out of oppression, man, struggling, pilgrims on the earth, diaspora, scattering, learning the ways of the heathen, coming back, getting out of captivity just to go to the next one.
Been on a roller coaster ride.
Straight up. Go ahead.
Verse 20. Wherefore the evils cleaved unto us, and the curse which the Lord appointed by Moses, his servant, at the time that he brought our fathers out of the land of Egypt.
Man, the evils and curses cleave to us, man. That's like an outfit. You get dressed, you throw on your garment, man. Evil and curses is coming right along with it, man. It's stuck to us. Our job is, man, to peel it off, man, and keep it off. Go ahead.
To give us a land that floweth with milk and honey, like as it is to see this day. Nevertheless, we have not hearkened unto the voice of the Lord our God, according unto the words of the prophets, whom he sent unto us. But every man followed the imagination of his own wicked heart, to serve strange gods, and to do evil in the sight of the Lord our Father.
See, and that's the legacy that our people is coming from. That's what Moses was trying to lead our people away from, lead us up out of. That was the revolution. That was where we were trying to break free from all of the bonds of evil, the curses cleaving to us, acknowledging and seeing our faults, making a drastic change within. Revolutionary wise, we're breaking a drastic change, trying to change the system and get about the government. We know how to do that by separating being a part of the Bible and the laws and the commandments. But then we have to have a revolution within our own selves. We got to have a whole revolution between us and the Most High, the flesh and the spirit, and all of that, and incite change and incite a real insurrection and riot within our spiritual members, man. So we learn through the spiritual aspects of what it means to be a revolutionary, man, and staying locked into the commandments, keeping part of this code known as the Holy Bible, man, as part of our spirit, man, and then in doing so, we automatically, by default, become revolutionaries to the system and the government that continually oppress us, man. And only through that way, the Most High is going to deliver us. Because we see it happen in ancient Egypt, right? It worked. Once we stood on our ground and said, hey, we revolting against Egypt, we're sick of this. And if it means bodies got to drop and the firstborn of them got to die, to hell with it, then that's what it is, and we got to get up out of here. Better them than us. And the Most High said, now you're talking. Now you're talking my language. Y'all ready? Let's go. So now we got to have that same mentality, man. We don't get out of this modern day Egypt. We gotta break free, man. We got to revolutionize the way we've been moving. All right. So with that, I'm going to give our praise, honor, and glory to the Most High right here on the